New group chat convos episode. We're back with another one. We got Ty2Sly here with us.
Cut.
We got me here. I can't say we got Eli here like
Emilio,
the usual.
He's back.
I'm back. You know, I was out the last episode, so we'll just run with that. Shout out to Eli. He ain't feeling a little under the weather, but it's cool. We gonna hold it down. The boys held it down last week for me. Ain't shit changed. You know what it is.
Emilio was in the mountains doing his thing, enjoying nature, just getting some fresh, crisp mountain air.
Yeah. It was nice out there. It was pretty cold. It actually snowed about like a day and a half. It snowed, but it wasn't sticking, so it wasn't too bad. But it snowed.
Some slush.
Yeah. Just little flurries came down, but nothing stuck. Kind of got a little froze over a little at night, but then next day sun was out, and yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. I mean, you know, it was the usual once you go out of town, you know, especially going to the cabins. We kind of went there to really enjoy our time there in the cabin. We went to like the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. So, you know, real touristy. They got everything you could think of out there, but we really just chilled. You know what I mean? You know, it was about 6 of us. Yeah, it was 6 of us, including a 3-year-old baby.
Bro,
so
speaking of, I'm not too certain on this, like exactly like the pinpoint specifics of who owns what, but
yeah.
T-Norm, Tyler Norman, shout out, you know, T-Norm. He knows somebody who has like a 200, 300-year-old cabin and like the National like Museum or like some state park foundation wanted like to buy that like area and that cabin.
Oh, really?
For hella money, and she just declined it because like it's somehow she acquired it and she never wanted to lose it. So
is it in Asheville or?
I think it's in Asheville.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know,
or just shy outside of Asheville somewhere.
I know the one that we stayed in was, we were, like I said, we was in Tennessee, but it was an Airbnb. So kind of the way that I noticed, especially when I went out there this time, because I've been to like Tennessee to the mountains a good amount of times, you know. So, but what I noticed this time is they have a lot of, like, you can kind of almost distinguish between an Airbnb and between a cabin that's owned by like a rental company out there or something, you know, because the one we were in, there was a few cabins up in that area, but we weren't on the very top of a mountain, you know what I mean? We were kind of just like off, kind of on like a mountain type, you know, land or whatever. Yeah. And there was a, you know, branch off into all these little areas where there was cabins and everything like that. But driving around the area, you can see cabins that are literally at the top of a mountain, or you can see like 3 or 4 cabins all right next to each other. And you know, to get onto that type of land, it has to be more of a rental company, because the Airbnb, the cabin that we stayed in was brand new. We were the first people to stay in it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they built it this year. It was brand new.
Was it made out of like log?
Yeah. It was all made out of wood and everything. It was nice as fuck. And I'm so mad because, let me tell you this. So while out there, you know, I'm in the mountains, you know, I'm smoking and shit. I brought my Stony Mountain lighter and everything, and I took this quick little fire Instagram video, right? Just of me, you know, pointing to the Stony Mountain, lighter in my hand, how my little paper joint, you know, burning. And I went up and I was on the balcony showing all the mountains and stuff like that, and then went back down. You know, I was gonna do a little play, you know, Stony Mountain. Yeah. You know what I mean? Recorded that. So after I recorded, I'm like, all right, bet. I finished smoking, trying to find a song, right? Shout out to Lorenzo and shout out to my niece, Ava. She comes, right, and grabs my phone, and first thing she does, grabs my phone because she wants to go watch YouTube. I'm like, all right, bet. So she comes up to me, grabs my phone, I give it to her. Man, I grab my phone back later. I'm like, damn, my fucking video, I never posted it. I was in the process of choosing the song. By the time I got my phone back from her, I think she closed the app, just swiping and stuff like that. I was like, damn, I needed that too. I was gonna post it on Instagram, do a little story, tag Stony Mountain.
We would have reposted it too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was wanting.
Yep.
But yeah, man, it was a good time. Well, I'm glad to be back here. It was had a lot to do in the build up towards it, you know, with work and everything like that. But
so the Florida Senate Bill 932, it was filed earlier this week. It says dogs traveling in motor vehicles would not be able to ride on roofs, fenders, or hoods. They would need to be secured in a size-appropriate crate and in a harness or pet seatbelt and under supervision from someone other than the driver.
Really?
Yeah. And
so no dogs can have their head hanging out the window or anything like that?
So essentially it's saying that, you know, they have to be like buckled up or like tied down.
So technically you can't even hold your dog in the lap while driving. Like if you're in a passenger seat, or even in the passenger seat, they need to be either in a crate, buckled in one of the pet harnesses or seats or whatever. Yeah. That's crazy. Why is that?
I don't know. I think has to do with maybe dog deaths, dog jumping out the window, maybe just a whole bunch of incidents relating to it. But I just thought that was, you know, as a dog fan,
I mean that's an L for Florida. To be honest, I mean, L. There's one of the best things is when you are driving and you have your dog in the back seat and you just let them.
If my dog's in my car, my back two windows are rolled down.
Yeah.
Like, it's just natural instinct because, like, he needs that air.
Yeah.
He needs it.
And the thing is, even with that, you can still have one of the you know, harnesses or seatbelts, whatever, that still allows them to, you know, walk back and forth throughout the back seat and still allow them to put their head out while they're still safely, you know, they're not going to be able to jump out. So, yeah, that's an L for that, man. I mean, that's, like I said, if your dog is in the car, you got to have your windows out, let them get that fresh air. They love to do that.
Exactly.
Tongue all out. Yeah.
You know? So it's a must, man. I'm upset that I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if that passes, then, you know, people who love to do what we do with our animals, our pets, they're going to feel upset in the state of Florida.
And I honestly wonder how, if it does get passed, so it's not passed yet.
No.
I wonder if it does get passed, how strict will, you know, it be? Like, will the cops really enforce that? Because, you know, there's a lot of laws that cops just really don't enforce. Yeah. But, you know, so I wonder if that's something they'll really pull somebody over for. I mean, what happens? Do you get a ticket?
Yeah.
You'll get a ticket? That's crazy. I can't imagine, bro. I could not imagine no shit like that.
It's crazy.
Man, fuck. That's a L. That's a L. I'll just say that. Going on to the next topic, you know, is for something that's more recent. Ant-Man. We got to talk about Ant-Man.
Okay, yeah. What is it? Phase 5 of the Marvel Universe?
Phase 5. It's the first movie. It's the first installment of Phase 5.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on it.
No spoilers.
Yeah, with no spoilers. No spoilers. Everybody knows Kang is in it. I mean, that's from the trailer. So we can talk about Kang. It's not really no spoiler. Honestly, I think that... I think that as a movie, Ant-Man was okay. It was a pretty enjoyable movie. I mean, it wasn't the best movie. It was damn near, I mean, nowhere near the best Marvel movie. But as just a movie in general, it was okay to watch.
Yeah, it was a good movie to watch.
Yeah, and I'd watch it again. I wouldn't go to the movies and watch it again, but I'd watch it again. Now, as far as Marvel and as MCU in a whole, I think that it's the one thing that I'll say is there's been a lot of critics. It got really bad ratings from the critics, and there's been a lot of people, especially movie reviewers, who have been talking hella shit about it and everything. And I think that me personally, I look at that movie, with it being an Ant-Man movie, I look at it as it's more of they just needed something to start Phase 5. You know what I mean? Yeah. They needed something to bring in Kang, and with bringing him in, you have to think like, the way they did it, the whole point of Kang being an Ant-Man movie is kind of to start his story. You know, I mean, you can start it, Kang, obviously you can start it from anywhere, but it makes sense how they started it with him being in the quantum realm.
Yep.
So I think that's really what's important to take away from the movie. But now, as MCU in general, for it being an MCU movie, like their movies have been, bro, since No Way Home.
Hogwash.
Yeah, No Way Home was the last movie where I watched and I was like, yo, this is like MCU that I expect, Marvel movie that I'm expecting to go watch. Everything else, even the TV shows, have been mid.
Well, another thing that I want to put, or I just want to put my input in here is, I think that, you know, as a billion-dollar industry, Marvel should have the best superhero movies all around. They should please the fans' wants and needs. They should obviously meet the graphics, the action, you know, and in doing so, they continue to build that cult following. You know, like I've spoken to people who are repulsed by people who are like Marvel superhero fans. Are like, that's not even real. Like, why the fuck do you even give a fuck about a superhero? He's not even real. And I'm just, you know, it's just a perspective thing. So in order for us to continue that cult following vibe and, you know, that love and that aggression and, you know, wanting to see that movie the first week, you know, just to make sure that you're in that box office stamp, because I think we've realized movies like Marvel movies and movies that have established storylines and plots, it creates content. It creates, you know, you can go to Disney and, you know, you can see a whole bunch of princesses because there's different movies, you know, but it all comes together and meshes together.
Yeah.
Same thing essentially, just with the Marvel MCU. So even in Florida at Universal.
Yeah, I agree.
Just those little things, man.
Yeah. And one thing that I will say with Marvel, especially looking directly at the MCU, is I think that they saw how much success they made from, you know, having everything connected, having all the movies build up to the Avengers, to Ultron, and realistically, all those movies really build up to Thanos with Infinity War and Endgame. And I think that they see that success and they're trying to replicate it. And I think that, I mean, they have Jonathan Majors, who is killed the Kang role, and is a really good actor, you know, one of the hottest actors out right now. But there's more than just having a connected story that made those movies so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because those movies coming out without even having a connected story were good without having this is going to lead up and build up to this.
Yeah.
Because
even, you know, so I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Even going into like 2008 Iron Man, you didn't expect it to have a whole entire plot line like it did.
Yeah.
You didn't expect it to be painted like how Marvel did.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know the comics and, you know, people read the comics, but it's not the same thing. You know, it's like saying, you know, you read the books on Game of Thrones, but then, you know, you didn't watch any of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
correlate something that makes sense to the point where obviously you have a love for it because it came a long way. You know, like it was made before this. You know, there's books written about this before this movie was written, and it was critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
So it's essential that we keep those types of roots, in my opinion, but also still acknowledging what is out there in the Marvel MCU. I love that, but, you know, sometimes I feel like it's a money grab.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look back, I know there might be Easter eggs that hint towards Thanos or whatever before Avengers, but realistically, once Avengers dropped and then you see the post-credit scene where Thanos is in a chair or whatever he's in, and you see him, you're like, oh shit, who is that? You start doing research and you find out, oh, this is a true badass, and then you go look at the comics and okay, so he's gonna get all the Infinity Stones, you know, all of that stuff. But up until that Avengers point, that wasn't really the focus at all. You know, before that, it was just, these are good movies. These are just good superhero movies. And they are gonna team up to have a Avengers movie like they have Avengers comics. But so with all of that, like I said, I just think that the story, they can focus on the story as much as they want, but they have to make sure that the movies are good, because nobody's gonna truly care about how connected it is. Nobody's, besides people who are true fans, you know, majority, how would I put it? Like the people,
typical movie watcher.
Yeah.
Wants to go see like
general audience,
a cool like action movie, but they don't follow along the like details. They don't give a fuck about the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
They just like to see some action on the screen and kind of have a good beginning, start, middle, end.
So let me ask you this. I'm not sure. I feel like we might have had this on a pod before, but
yeah.
What are your top 5 Marvel movies?
Off the top of my head, top 5 Marvel movies. Shit.
No order, just top 5.
Give me 3.
Okay, give me 3.
Top 3, no order. Infinity War.
Easy.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Dude, it's hard.
It is. I mean, that's honestly why I even said a top 5, solely because top 5 is like you can throw in things and you're not putting one movie in over it.
Because my perspective is shifting now, you know, because they're going to different phases.
Yeah.
So it's like, damn, like, do I appreciate like the newer phases, or do I appreciate the older ones, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think for a fact everybody has Infinity War in their top 5.
Yes.
And one thing that I always look at is if you have Infinity War in your top 5, you really don't need to have Endgame because you have Infinity War, which out of those two, Infinity War was better.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to kind of choose over those. But I mean, I think I'd put no order. I'd have Infinity War in there. I'm gonna put. I might have to put Captain America: Civil War. I love that movie. I think that movie fire.
Had a lot of action.
Yeah, a lot of action. I like Winter Soldier, but I kind of have. I'll put Civil War over instead of Winter Soldier. I'm gonna put No Way Home because No Way Home is just like. I feel like that's one of the. It's a classic movie just because of what they did and how they did it. You know, great acting, a lot of cameos. So I'll have No Way Home in there, but not gonna lie, I'm getting that same feeling that you're getting though, getting stuck right there after those three, because it's like, what do I put in? After those three, which I feel like Infinity War and No Way Home is kind of, those are the two ones we both have. Do I put in? Do I go and put in like Black Panther, or do I go and put in Guardians of the Galaxy? One of those movies.
Like, I swear to God, I was gonna say Black Panther, but there are movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, that are like different like storylines, but they're in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you respect?
It's hard, man. It's hard. I really like Black Panther too. I think that it was fire, but the problem with me is RP to Chadwick, but the movie would have been 10 times better if he was Black Panther. You know,
the first Black Panther was better than the second Black Panther.
Yeah, the second Black Panther really got carried, in my opinion. Got carried by Namor. Honestly, that was a really good performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Marvel has just been, it's been really good. It's just they've been lacking, and I think that's another problem with how lacking that they've been. It's like you've always looked at it as like, oh, when a Marvel movie comes out, you know it's gonna be fire, and then they start dropping stuff where you're like, Because
I'm at the point where like I can tell whenever a movie's gonna be good by the character.
Mm-hmm.
Certain characters have more action to them, storyline behind them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
I mean,
like person I'm thinking off my head is like Iron Man and Spider-Man. Like those two people like made a lot of money for Marvel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Robert Downey and what's his name?
Tom Holland. Yeah. I mean, bro, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now regarding to Ant-Man, because we've both seen it, and this still won't be no spoilers. But, bro, there's no reason why Ant-Man was even, bro. He had plot armor out the ass, bro. Exactly. Like the plot armor Ant-Man had. There's Ant-Man, I mean, he doesn't have any true power besides being able to go small and go big. So I understand, okay, he can go small and you know, and then go big, and once he goes back to normal size, he comes with momentum. That's how he's able to hit people with such force and all that. But it's like, bro, at the same time, when he goes big, I don't understand. His suit, is his suit made out of vibranium or something? Because how is he getting lasers and all these beams shot at him and it's not affecting his flesh at all? Does his flesh just become stronger? Does his skin become stronger when he's that big? I don't understand it, bro. Like, he had plot armor. There's no reason. And then I'm still not gonna do any spoiler, but I'll say this: Ant-Man and Kang gets into a fight, and Kang is beating his ass, bro. Like he's whooping him, bro.
Whooping his ass.
And Ant-Man, bro, like all this, I know Ant-Man trained with the Avengers. I know he has, world-class training and everything like that. But bro, he walks around like an average Joe. You know what I mean? Exactly. He walks around like the most average dude ever. He's not built. None of that. And
like Tom Holland.
Yeah, exactly. But Tom Holland has spider powers. He's Spider-Man. So it's different, bro. We know what Spider-Man is. Ant-Man, bro, you're a regular human who can shrink and grow. So I hope that's the last Ant-Man movie, because I can't see no more of that shit, bro. I can't see no more of it.
And Ant-Man is just not like, there's nothing revolving around Ant-Man besides maybe him finding like, maybe him just exposing what's out there.
Yeah, the really the only thing Ant-Man has going for him, which they set up when in that post-credit scene of him going into the quantum time realm or whatever, all of that. He was important to Endgame, but the only thing he has going for him is the quantum realm, because it's like he goes so small. It's a whole universe that's that's not even microscopic. So I understand that. But besides that, bro, he's not relevant with anything else. He's almost on Hawkeye level.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, bro, and I better not see Hawkeye come back either, bro. I better not see his ass, man. There ain't no damn reason why he.
The end of what was it? That Widow movie?
Black Widow. I never watched Black Widow. I'm not gonna lie.
The post credits, he was like meeting her, Scarlett Johansson, at the grave, and yeah, I may be completely wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure he's still relevant.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. You know what it is. Listening to the best podcast in the world. Shout out to Stony Mountain. Shout out to the whole boys, man. Shout out to the gang.
Stony Mountain Volume 4 drop is out now. Please tap in stnymtn.com and follow us on Instagram at stny.mtn.
You heard it here first, and we out.